All things Cavs with the man who knows all things Cavs, Mr. Dave McMenamin here. What's going on, Dave?
Let's talk it.
Let's do it. Up first this offseason. The Cavs gotten worse?
I think by virtue of the age of their roster, every day that passes, they are getting worse. Because they haven't upgraded with any sort of two-way player, any playmaker, any youth. And, the guy they've had is Jose Calderon. Nice player, 36 years old. The guy they're been talking to, according to Joe Varden of Cleveland.com, is Jamal Crawford.
Right.
Nice player, 37 years old. Now, I'll give Crawford some credit. In the playoffs last year against Utah, he had 4 games of 10 points or more.
He's a young 37.
The Cavs bench combined in the NBA Finals, 0 games of 10 points or more of any individual. So he would be an upgrade just based on what they have right now.
Right.
But that's not going to bridge the gap between them and the Warriors.
Glass half full. The entire East got worse other than Boston.
Right.
So you can say, they've status quo. Glass half empty. Obviously, they're not here to win the East. They're here to win it all. And so that's a tough pill to swallow. The other thing also is this general manager position thing. I mean, I don't know how many ways you can mess up a championship team, a championship caliber team, but this has to be one of them where you're just wasting time here. Do we know of any other candidates, for instance?
We certainly do not. What I've been told, speaking to people around the team, is that the last couple of weeks have been almost on-job training or in an active interview for guys like Kobe Altman and Mike Yanzi, and they're doing an exemplary job of not licking their wounds and recognizing the chaos that's going on, just putting their head down and trying to get deals done. But they're put in a tough position, and basically what I've been able to glean is that guys on the Cavs, LeBron James included, feel like they went into the offseason with no plan.
Right.
If you're going to get rid of David Griffin, that's one thing. It's questionable, but it's one thing. But you got to make sure you get your guys a replacement. They didn't, and now they are rudderless, and quite frankly, are a bit embarrassing the way their offseason's gone.
It's not easy, if you're in an interim role and your job is to deliver a championship now before LeBron leaves. I mean, it's just hard to kind of navigate those waters. All right, next question. Will anyone from the Banana Boat join? We've taken upon ourselves to highlight Carmelo Anthony here. He's expressed interest in Cleveland and Houston. CP3 and D-Wade seem to be locked into their respective situations for at least one more year in Houston and Chicago. Dave, what do you think? Is there room for Melo in the land?
I mean, yes, if they could add him to the big three.
Right.
If there was a buyout, but I've talked to people around the league, and they feel like there was a $24 million buyout for Phil Jackson, which allowed James Dolan to avoid a $54 million buyout for Carmelo Anthony. So if it's a trade route, it's going to be Houston or the Cavs. Adrian Wojnarowski reported those are the 2 teams he would waive his no-trade clause for. We don't know which one would be more likely to happen in New York until they get their new president / GM. So say that guy is David Griffin, and even David Griffin has a tremendous relationship with Kevin Love.
Right.
If I'm that guy taking over the job, I want a full rebuild because that buys me more time.
Right.
If I'm starting from the ground floor, you get a 5 or 6 year window to be the GM of the team. But if you're starting midway through the process and all of a sudden you're a playoff team with Porzingis and Love potentially, and then the fans' expectations change, it's a harder job to do.
The whole thing here is if you got Carmelo Anthony instead of Kevin Love, I don't know how much better that makes him. Again, I think every question we ask about the Cavs has to go back. Will this help beat the Warriors?
Right.
No? Okay. Because you're still dealing with someone who's a defensive liability that they will exploit and take advantage of. I mean, is he better defender than Kevin Love? If he is, just marginally so, right?
Right.
So.
And Kevin Love he did not have the best NBA Finals. The way he hit the offensive rebounds, particularly in Game 3, the Cavs lost that game, but he kept them in that third quarter hitting the offensive glass. I don't know if Melo brings that little extra to the game.
It's almost like overkill on the stuff they already have. Yeah. All right, question number 3. Is Dan Gilbert daring LeBron to leave? That ring ceremony seems like so long ago. LeBron has another year on his deal, then can leave Cleveland again if he wants to. Doesn't seem like Gilbert is worried about it, Dave, but it kind of feels like he's kind of saying, go ahead and do it.
That would be a little sinister, right, to suggest that there's something beneath the surface where he's trying to push LeBron out the door. Perhaps, though, if he was, let's say he doesn't want to offer LeBron a supermax of $209 million.
Right.
He can just try to sabotage in the meantime, and then LeBron leaves, and I didn't have to make that decision.
Right.
I don't really know if that's what's going on here. I think this could just be ineptitude.
Right.
And ineptitude looks bad. It looks so bad that it makes you wonder, oh, is this intentional?
See, I don't think it's daring him to leave, like, I want you out. I think it's the other kind of daring him to leave. Like, you're not going anywhere. What do you mean? Come on. You know you're here for life now. Okay, you can cut the theatrics. I feel like he's got that kind of confidence. When people say, hey, man, what are you doing? This is, you're going to lose the guy. Like, nah, he's not leaving. He's not going anywhere. He's home.
Right, which I think would be a severe miscalculation.
Wow.
LeBron sets up his contracts to give himself options.
Pretty much.
And he's going to have options in the summer of 2018. There's teams that have already, earmarked cap space to be able to make a run at him. And if all he's seen in the final 12 months of his tenure with the franchise is chaos, is embarrassment, is no sense of a plan, because again, that's what I have been told that kind of LeBron's camp views this offseason thus far, he would be better served over the final part of his career to leave. But that's a but. There's still, the next season to try to get back on track.
Bonus question before we go to break. If he left, I'm not saying he's leaving, but let's say he left. You have to put your money on going to the West or staying in the East. Which one will you do?
Going to the West.
Really?
I think he would come to Los Angeles to play for the Lakers.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, perhaps that team in the East, maybe the Knicks all of a sudden emerge as a contender. I mean, it's not absurd to think. And, of course, we know the imbalance.
All I hear, what's that? 9 million voices all screaming at the same time in New York. Let it be. We have to take another commercial break. But first, let's look at this distant replay from 2010, courtesy of the great Latavius Williams. Ooh, I got Latavius Williams' stories. Okay, so he was the guy that went straight to the D-League and got drafted straight up to the D-League. Second round pick by OKC. He was athletic to all get out, man. A rebounding machine. Had a little bit of a Bubba Gump thing going on.
He stopped me from talking.
Like
okay,
I don't know.
You can pick it up now.
Can I say that?
Appearance-wise?
Appearance-wise.
Yeah.
Some other ways as well. Live from right here in L.A. Don't miss it. And also, the Summer League is back.
Yeah.
Bucks and Cavs, 6:30 on ESPN2. Then Clippers take on Lonzo Ball and the Lakers at 8:30. And then Suns and Kings at 10:30. And speaking of Summer League, well, Rachel Nichols is there right now. She'll be doing jump specials from the Vegas this weekend, starting tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. The least you guys could have done was Photoshop an Elvis wig on her or something like that. She's in Vegas.
She's got that cool leather jacket on.
She does have the leather jacket. She's killing with that. All right, make debuts. Let's stick with Summer League and Lonzo Ball's debut. Dave, are you excited for this?
Absolutely. I'm going to be driving out to Vegas. I'm going to miss it, unfortunately, but I'll be checking Twitter while I'm on the road.
I'm just excited to see what LeVar is going to do. That's all I really care about. Tomorrow I'll see Lonzo Ball live. Yeah. Today is all about LeVar.
Okay.
Miss Bedhead. Gordon Hayward hasn't signed his Celtics contract yet, but he's found a new barber. Dave, are you relieved he won't be reverting back to this look?
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Oh, man.
I was curious if you'd do a totally new look, being the new city, but it's very important to find a barber on the road.
Oh, man.
My beard needs trimming.
You don't have one here, an LA guy?
I got a spot.
Nate, loyalty. Yesterday there were reports that the clock has started ticking on Giannis' exit from the Bucks. Giannis squashed those rumors last night with his huge hand, saying, "I've got loyalty in my DNA." Dave, will the Greek Freak regret tweeting this?
Well, yeah, of course he will.
Yeah,
First of all,
do, right?
Is that a Drake lyric? First of all, beyond that, March 21st, 2016, Kevin Durant says Oklahoma City is home. July 4th goes to Golden State. I think Old Takes Exposed Twitter account is just waiting to pounce.
Freezing cold takes. Miss Humility. Kevin Durant joked on his YouTube page that he's the one who got Dion Waiters and Andre Robertson their new contracts. Is it nice having KD back on social media in full effect?
Oh, it's wonderful. And he joins a great lineage in terms of guys like Steve Nash and LeBron James, who just cashed out checks to other players. That's their true level of greatness when guys get other guys paid.
In the NFL, like the quarterback gives like watches to his O-line because they allow him to be great. I feel like people should give Steve Nash and LeBron and all these guys watches as well. Make age gaps. 40-year-old Vince Carter just signed a one-year deal with the Kings. His new point guard, De'Aaron Fox, was born just 6 months prior to Vince's draft day.
That's great.
Dave, how many more seasons does Vince have in him?
This could be it. But he's making $8 million. Good for him. And beyond that, the Kings are actually doing things the right way.
Yes, they've had a great offseason. Let me just say this about Vince Carter. You don't make $8 million in the last year of your career, right? That means like there's still a couple more to come. There's more to come. Missed conferences. This morning, Zach Lowe reported that Western Conference teams and front office execs are pushing for playoff seedings 1 through 16, regardless of conference. Surprise, surprise. Dave, are you in favor of this?
Absolutely not. This is ridiculous. Quit your whining. The NBA's been around 75 years. We haven't switched up conferences before. Stop poaching from the East if that's
Yeah,
if it's
exactly.
too hard for you to do it. Get out of here.
Or
with
get a
that.
job in New York or Cleveland or somewhere right
Right.
there where they're looking. All right, let's go to At the Buzzer. Pitchers have announced the rights to Contavious Caldwell-Pope, and the Nets are interested. Dave, do you like the potential pairing of D'Angelo Russell and KCP?
I think there's some potential there. I think Russell has a lot of things to work on, regardless of who his teammates are, in terms of working on his body and maturity and consistency. Caldwell-Pope, nice player. There's also a report out there that the Lakers might try to offer him a balloon one-year
Right.
deal and try to get him out in L.A.
No takers for that so far. You know, I'm thinking someone's got to be there. Jamal Crawford, perhaps,
Oh,
right?
there you go.
Then he doesn't have to
And
sell
then
his
he
house.
won't go to Cleveland.
Yeah, and that too. You know? Hey, you know what? Thanks, Dave. We're back next week. Check out Rachel's Summer League show tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. You're going to be on the road.
Absolutely.
You're
Driving
gonna
to
get
Vegas in like an hour.
You're going to be on the road now, or you're going to be in Vegas an hour?
No, driving in an
Right,
hour.
I'm about to say, the cops, man, they're watching that road, man.
That's right. Thanks, Amin.
Yeah, no problem. Look, we have to fill this little space here. Hey, watch this.